What's going on, my JMO family? This is your boy Big C back at you again, my family members. Coming back at you with another hot video. Like I always say, can't stop, won't stop. But I also have to thank everybody out there, all my JMO family members, my aunties, my uncles, my daddies, my mothers, my sisters, my brothers, sisters. Everybody out there that looks into this JMO, I appreciate the love. But I'm going to jump right into it, not going to do too much talking. Going to jump into our first reaction video for today. Might do two of them today, that's why I said first, because there was one on ESPN First Take that I think I might have to react to. But the first one here is definitely going to be from our Undisputed family on on FS1, Fox Sports 1. It's got Chris Broussard, Skip Bayless, and Shannon Sharpe on this one. They're talking about the Rockets. Are they the biggest threat to the Warriors out in the West? So let's see what these boys got to say. Let's get it!
We're joined now by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Welcome, Chris. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Chris, how big of a threat is Houston to Golden State?
I am so impressed with the Rockets. They are the biggest threat, not only in the West, but in the NBA to the Warriors. Now, we'll see what Cleveland does when they get Isaiah Thomas. But for now, no question. And I'm not writing off your Spurs. I've learned to respect Popovich and all the Spurs can do. So I'm not totally writing them off. But there's no doubt
Most
in
definitely.
my mind.
Don't ever do that with the Spurs. Don't ever write them off. Never be disrespectful.
We think of Mike D'Antoni, we're going to think they don't play defense.
Right.
You haven't been watching if you think they don't play defense. They're tied for 5th in the league in defensive efficiency with Chris Paul, P.J. Tucker, Luke Ba, Mute, Clint Capella protects the rim. They've got Trevor Ariza. They can defend now. They got some good defenders. But for all that said, you're only going to slow down Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson but so much, if you can slow them down at all. So it's going to come down to you being able to score with them. And that's why I think the Spurs fall short. Skip, I don't think they can score with Golden State. Both Golden State and Houston this year are in the top 5 offensive rated teams of all time. So they can shoot the three almost as well as Golden State. I think they actually do have the best backcourt in the league, not starting backcourt, but when you throw in Eric Gordon off the bench giving you 18 points a game, I give them the best backcourt. Chris Paul gives them a mid-range game, so they have some, they're not as predictable, shoot the three or get in the paint. So I think he'll be huge for them in the playoffs. Here's my I have two concerns about them. One is Mike D'Antoni. As great a coach as he is when he's in the right situation.
Regular season.
And what hurts him in the playoffs or has hurt him is his lack of attention to detail. They have some great series, his sons with the Spurs. I mean, great series. And it always seemed to be at the key moment, a missed rotation, a lack of execution, an ill-advised turnover. Your players getting off the bench. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Robert Ory, that cheap shot.
But the Spurs tell their
Chris
guys
Broussard
do not
there,
get off the
but
bench.
I feel like having Chris Paul there, a true point guard who's a true captain, a true leader.
When the teams are close,
that's good. That might change. That might change there. That might change. I understand that Tony's the coach. He's supposed to be the leader of men, like Stephen A. say. But I think Chris Paul changes that a little bit. I think that did change.
2014, Game 5, OKC, 2 turnovers in the last 17 seconds. Utah last year, he averaged 27 points in the first 6 games last year against Utah. Game 7, what he have 13? I mean, James Harden, Game 6 last year.
We don't talk about that.
We don't. I mean, how you get 10 points? Didn't even look like he wanted to shoot them.
It was ugly for James.
Maybe both of them together, they'll bolster each other, whether it's confidence, whatever. But those are some concerns, but I'm still going to say they're the top threat.
I agree. And the thing that makes them tough, what happens is that for most teams, when your starting point guard goes out, who can initiate offense? Well, Chris Paul or James Harden will always be on the floor. One of those guys will always be on the floor. So they will never be in a situation have to worrying about who's going to initiate the offense. Chris Paul has been phenomenal. Maybe he really did need a change of scenery. because he's looked like a different Chris Paul. And when he's on the court, they
That's
haven't
true.
yet to lose with
He's
Chris
been
Paul
balling
in the
this
lineup.
year. When he's been balling, and he hasn't really been. I mean, he's been
The
injured,
thing
but
is,
not
Skip,
like
is that now they can
like
throw
you know,
Ariza,
and
they can throw Tucker,
like in
they can
Houston,
throw
he hasn't been
Mbamba Moute,
injured like
they
that
can
in
throw
Houston.
multiple
So.
bodies at Kevin Durant, not just Ariza. So I love what they do offensively, second ranked efficiency, sixth in defense, 3-point shooting. We know they're going to get about 40 up a game. All they're hoping to do is hit 15 or 16 of them, and they're going to be good. They're good at the free throw line, Skip. They get 82% of the defensive rebounds. You don't think, because really you only think about Capella, but James Harden, and then you got the 2 and the 3 assist people in the NBA on the same team. I don't know if that's ever been done, and we might not ever see it again.
True.
They're the biggest
True.
threat. The question, hey,
That's good right there.
Warriors
That's
might be
real
the biggest
good.
threat to the
You got, that
Rockets.
means you
Watch
got them
Bucks
ball
and
handlers up there.
Skip
You're not going
Bayless.
to turn over
But
too much.
we're not even
you don't have a
talking
lot of
about
turnover
because
guys
they
that's
not
handling the
gonna do
ball.
nothing.
So that's good.
And you going to like it.
You writing the Spurs off. That's
It's so dangerous, but I love it.
That is
because
tough.
you're going to have to eat those words.
The disrespect by Shannon
So,
Sharp on
did
that
I just
comment.
hear you pick the Rockets to win the West like you've leaped over onto that bandwagon? Because I think you just did. I think that's just what you said.
I said
You
maybe the
said-
Warriors
That's
are the
what you
biggest
said. So
threat
wouldn't that
to the Rockets.
indicate that the,
It's close.
that the
Al.
Rockets are now the front
Give him a
runner?
few weeks.
But you know, got a guy in the Eastern Conference.
No, yeah. I'm sure they're all cowards.
But you probably hope, if you're a Cavs fan, you hope it's
The
Houston?
way Bron played right now,
Better shot against Houston.
bring Larry Bird and Michael Jordan back the way Bron played and put him on the Warriors.
Yeah, right. So I want to
Calm down.
I want to congratulate my friend Chris Broussard because
Don't
he
go there,
went
Shannon.
all around.
Don't
the
go
bush and
there.
He came around to the bottom
Let's be
line to this
friends.
discussion, which is the truth is, as much as I love to watch both of these players in the regular season, James Harden and Chris Paul, despite the fact that James Harden is
Here goes
putting
Skip.
up numbers right now that have never been put up before. 3-point step back numbers. It's just mind blowing what he is doing so far. We're not yet to even Christmas. But despite all that, neither of these players have ever shown championship mettle in the clutch in the playoffs. Neither one of them. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to disrespect they're great players. They are great players. But James Harden
It's
as a
true.
starter.
It's hard for me to say because I like both
but in
players.
Houston, his
but
playoff record is
Skip
20 and
speaking
25.
the truth.
In
He's speaking
CP3,
the
and I used to
truth.
call him CP0 because zero range.
Man.
But again, I love what he's done so far, and I get your stats, and I watched last night. He wasn't good. He was great last night. He is 33 and 43 in the postseason. And both players have
Put up
had
his numbers
huge
last night.
flameouts, and it started with James all the way back with the baby Thunder when they went to Miami for games 3 and 4. Remember, he was APB out on James Harden in games 3 and 4. And again, they were just kids playing against a grown man in LeBron, and LeBron broke through, God bless, and he won his first title against Kevin Durant. And where was James Harden? And then Russell Westbrook had one disastrous first half in game 3 in Miami. But the point is, again and again, James Harden has had these flameouts.
Yeah, they were too young.
What was
LeBron-
that when they lost
LeBron and
in
them
the
was
conference
destined to get
finals
that
in 5
championship.
games? Remember the
They were
closeout
destined
game?
to get that
He
championship.
just
They-
disappeared.
okay, see, I
going
mean,
2
that's
for
back
11,
then
and
with
then
too young.
You don't want to
Too
hear
young,
about
and they
Game
weren't
6
ready.
last
They
year,
weren't
but
ready for that.
that was horrendous. That's
Oh,
at
he
home.
was all time bad.
That was
all-time
at
bad. Yeah.
home, and you shoot 2 for 11, and you lose 114 to 75 on your home floor when you could force a game 7 back in San Antonio. And then Chris Paul, he had one moment in the sun against my Spurs. When, remember, on the final regular season night of the season, the Spurs go to New Orleans and blow a game that dropped them from the 2 seed to the 6 seed, and they wound up having to play Game 7 of Round 1 at Staples. And Chris Paul was sensational because he looked like he pulled his hamstring, and he came back in and made the shot of shots over Tim Duncan to win it. And what did they proceed to do? Chris couldn't play the first 2 games because of his pulled hamstring against James Harden's Rockets. They still won. They go up 3 games to 1, and they blow it with Chris Paul. You can't blow that. And then James Harden sort of benefits from that. And then
I hear it,
but
Skip,
both of them.
but in LA,
To your point,
I don't think
maybe
LA was a
if
good
you
team.
combine
Even
your
though you had
strengths,
3
you can cancel
guys.
each other's weakness in
I'll
the
get
end
to it.
in the
Stay
postseason.
tuned,
because
JMO family.
I'm not
I'll
sure
get to
they're
it.
made of that stuff. Whatever that stuff is that you have to go win a championship or carry a team to a championship. I just discount all these numbers. As sensational as they are, I don't believe them yet.
Well, last year with Harden, that was
Okay.
that's one thing. If you
Appreciate the commentary by these guys, but let your boy get into this. We heard from all 3 guys, Shannon, Skip, and Chris. Broussard, not this Chris, yeah, not your boy here. But do I think Houston is a big threat to Golden State? Yes, I do. I think Houston can be a threat to Golden State. They have the shooters. They can shoot. They got the shooters. James Harden's a 3-point shooter. Trevor Ariza, 3-point shooter. Eric Gordon has become a nice 3-point shooter. Ryan Anderson is a good 3-point shooter at the power forward, small power forward center position that he plays. Clint Capella is a great rebounder, great defensive player. Can jump too, can catch them alley oops, and you know Chris can throw those all day. I feel like they are a threat. I agree with Chris Broussard, and I agree with Shannon. I think they both are saying that they could be a threat. Disagree with Skip. Skip is saying that he don't think they're a threat. I have to disagree with Skip. I know he want to bring up the fact about how back in when the Clippers, when Chris Paul was a Clipper, and they was up 3-1 against the Spurs and lost, but Chris Paul was playing. LA was not a good team. It wasn't. It really wasn't. Even though they had good records, they got into the playoffs. You had 3 superstars on the team: DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul, and Blake Griffin. You had the 3 superstars. You think it would be a great team. You think they'd be destined to get a championship. I don't think it was a good team. I don't think the three superstars match. Just like the same thing we're seeing in OKC right now. I was hoping that would look good at OKC, but it's not looking good. Russ, Paul George, and Melo together don't look like they're connecting at all. You know, I know it's still early, but it doesn't look like they're connecting. So, but I don't think that was a good team. So I think Skip is holding something against them, but I don't think that was good chemistry there at all. I don't think the chemistry was ever been able to be built in. But I do feel like Houston could give Golden State a run because, like they said, they have a superstar in James Harden. Chris Paul, what Chris was saying, the only concern he has about Mike D'Antoni, Chris Paul gonna close all of that. He is the man at that. He's the leader. He's a bulldog. He's a leader. He gonna make sure that the team plays good. He gonna make sure that the team don't make stupid mistakes. He done seen it all. He done been through it. Chris Paul is the man. I feel like that little part of it, that little error, that little mess up that could happen will be cleaned up because you have Chris Paul there who can lead the team. James Harden, what can I say about the man? It's a beast. He's a scorer. He can do his thing. He a beast. I feel like he can give problems. Now, like Shannon did say, they are going to have to slow down Golden State, and that is a giant test to slow down Golden State, especially when everybody on Golden State is healthy. If Durant's healthy, Curry's healthy, Clay's healthy, Draymond's healthy, and then you got a nice bench too now with Swag on there. Who else is on the bench? Caspi is on the bench for Golden State. You have a good bench, but I feel like with Chris Paul being that leader, James Harden being the superstar that he is, that nobody can stop him. LeBron can't stop him. I don't think KD can stop him. Nobody can stop James Harden, but it's vice versa. I don't think nobody can stop KD. I don't think nobody can stop LeBron. I don't think nobody can well, I'm going to say Steph, because it's been proven that you can't stop Steph. You get a little physical with him. So I'm going to slow down there. Let me pump my brakes. But I feel like they can really do it. And like I said, the way they shoot the 3 is good too. Houston shoot the 3. They get those buckets off the 3-point line. And like Shannon said, they're going to throw up about 40 of them, and they just hoping 15, 16, maybe even 20 goes in. If they get hot, 30 can go in out of the 40. So teams are going to have to be aware of that. They really are. So I really believe Houston is a threat. Golden State really needs to watch their back, especially if they're not all the way physically healthy in Golden State. That could be a problem because Houston looks like they're ready to go. They look like they're on the road. They look like they're ready to go. And I hear Shannon talking about Cleveland out there in the East. Cleveland would rather see Houston than Golden State, but I don't know. Houston, they look good. I ain't gonna lie, I will give the edge to Cleveland if that was to come to the NBA Finals. I will give that edge to Cleveland. But Houston ain't no joke. And like they said, Chris Paul got a mid-range game, and what I keep saying, Chris Paul is just a captain. He's a great leader. And he's gonna put some of that on James. James not going to be able to look like he did last year, looking horrible like he did last year. Chris Paul going to be in his ear barking, boy, come on, get it going. What you doing? Quit playing these games. Let's move, boy. So that's going to change. James Harden ain't going to be able to look like that James Harden of last year. Like he was just like, I'm done. We ain't going to beat Golden State. I don't know why we playing these games. He ain't going to look like that this year. Not with Chris Paul on the bench, because Chris Paul will be in his behind. He really would. So I got to agree with Chris and Shannon. Houston look like they are some competitors. They're going to give problems to Golden State. But my JMO family, once again, this is your time to shine. Leave those comments letting me know if you agree or disagree. And I will shout anybody out who has a great, great comment. So leave those comments. This is your boy, Big C. Thanks for the love and the support. And I'm out.